से जुड़ी किसी भी छोटी या बड़ी अपडेट के लिए सब्सक्राइब करें स्पोर्ट्स तक और साथ ही किसी भी नोटिफिकेशन को पाने के लिए बेल आइकन को दबाना ना भूलें।
Obviously, game time is going to be important, but the format is different from 50 overs, so the pace of the game obviously will be different. But just in terms of bowlers executing probably what they will require in death overs in one days, probably that would be the mindset of all the bowlers to execute that. And batsmen as well. I mean, you have to hit out in the end. So from that point of view, to get that strike rate going, we'll utilize different situations for different players to do that during the game. And just as batsmen to be able to play well, even if you get 30 odd runs which come in quick time and you're hitting the ball well, you can carry that confidence forward. So that's why game time is important, and we're looking at these games purely for that.
As a follow-up question, Virat, would you rather have played at least one or two one-days rather than two T20 games, especially because you don't play any one-days going into the World Cup after the 5 games against Australia?
Well, yeah, that would have been ideal, more, I would say, logical, but that's the way series are compiled nowadays, and we have to more or less play that. Also because we're playing so much T20 cricket in the IPL, so probably a couple of more one-days would have been more beneficial for both the teams, not just us. But look, we have to utilize what's in front of us as best as possible, and as I said, we're going to look to get into the right kind of frame of mind as a team.
Sir, after 72 years record winning on Australia ground, how do you feel right now?
Yeah, it was a great victory for us. We haven't really sat down and spoke about it since we won the series and came back, but every player knows if you see the confidence of the team, it's gone up after that particular series even more. And now we feel that we can consistently play good cricket all over the world and beat any side anywhere in the world. So from that point of view, I think it's a great achievement and something that all of us are really happy about.
Virat, a bit of uncharted territory. You're playing IPL and then you're playing a 50-over World Cup for the first time immediately on the back of the IPL. So what are the mindset changes that you will need to make, for instance, playing so many T20 matches and then going into the World Cup with just 2 practice games there?
Well, as I said, I mean, all the people who are going to be part of the World Cup squad, they have to make sure that, the games don't go too much away from the one-day mold of things. That means that we'll have to, be very wary of the bad habits that might creep in during the IPL. And from a personal point of view, I would look to continue in the same way that I have in all formats over the years and not do anything fancy, because as I said, frame of mind is the most important thing getting into the World Cup, and we need 15 people who are confident and mentally really happy about where their game is at that particular moment, and that will take a consistent effort from all the players during the IPL to keep a check on that. The moment we enter the nets and create bad habits and you lose momentum, you lose that batting form, it's very difficult to get it back in a tournament like the World Cup. So yeah, from that point of view, I think everyone will have to sort of protect that mindset and be aligned towards what the team requires in the World Cup.
Virat, you just spoke about the mind. How about the physical side of things? You've just personally come back from a break yourself. Is the team and you yourself planning differently over the next few months, because it's such a packed schedule leading into the World Cup? So essentially, what are your physical preparations in terms of fitness and injuries?
Look, again, the amount you practice with the amount of travel during the IPL and the number of games in different conditions, in different temperatures, it's going to be challenging, to be honest. But look, as a cricketer, you have to map out how many practice sessions you really need. If you're hitting the ball well, there's no need to go to a practice session and tie yourself out for 3 hours, whereas you can utilize that particular phase to rest and recover even more. So I think those things need to be kept in mind, and if your team is in a great position during the tournament, you don't mind taking 2-3 games off as well. So it all depends on how you feel physically, but everyone has to be really honest about it to themselves, and then accordingly see how they feel and not push themselves beyond a limit that might hamper the Indian team later on. So I think we'll all have to take responsibility of that.
Ask you.
Virat, who are the biggest threats in the Aussie side for this series?
Well, look, a few of the guys have done really well in the BBL, but from the last time that we played, the games were close contests, both of them. One was washed out, but the other two games were really exciting games, and we obviously expect a stiff competition overall from the Australian team. But if I had to single out one player that can make more impact, that would be Marcus Stoinis, because he's come around really well during the BBL, and he's making standout performances on a consistent basis. So you can see he's grown in confidence, and he's definitely going to be a very important player for them.
Last two.
As an Indian captain, what's your view on playing Pakistan in the World Cup? Wake up the recent
See, firstly, all our sincere condolences to the families of the soldiers who lost their lives from the Indian team and the whole setup. We're really shocked about what happened, and really sad about the incident that happened. Our stand is simple. We stick by what the nation wants to do and what the BCCI decides to do, and that is basically our opinion. Whatever the government and the board decide, eventually we will go by that and we will respect that. So that is our stand on this particular issue.
Mayank Markande coming into the scheme of things. So how does this change the whole setup going into the World Cup?
Look, he's been given an opportunity because he's done well. How it changes things during the World Cup, I'm not looking at this particular selection or change as something that will disrupt our plans for the World Cup. It's purely giving a youngster a chance who's done well over the last couple of seasons and who's bowled well in the IPL and T20 cricket. So yeah, that's purely from that point of view. It definitely will not hamper any of our plans going into the World Cup.
So, Virat, apart from the talk of a reserve opener and the second keeper, is there any other area that you're looking to seal before the World Cup?
Not really. I mean, we're more or less sorted, I guess. But through the course of the series, you might see something which might surprise you as a team, or you might want to change immediately. But those are things which are upon how circumstances come in front of you. But as of now, we feel pretty balanced as a side, and I don't see any major concerns or areas that we need to think about anymore. Everything is more or less sorted.
Final.
And Kane Richardson mentioned that you used to organise peanut butter and almond butter for when you guys played in the IPL. I was just wondering if you had organised any other gifts for him or any of the other Aussie boys for this series.
Well, he hasn't texted me that he wanted some, but yeah, I used to organize them because he was vegan and I knew this really good place. But now maybe we can sit down and have it together because I'm vegetarian as well. So yeah, that'd be nice. But he hasn't messaged me yet. If he does, I'll organize some.